have a personal rule which I'm about to share with you about my book of the month, and that is that I have to read it within a month from when I got the box. I'm going to be reading 3 book of the month picks in 3 days. This is difficult. Sorry. I could not get past 17 pages of that one. This is good. This one, when I read the preview, it sounded kind of like there might be some magical realism elements. The setting is like an island and someone's trying to get off the island, so I'm interested in this one. And then this one seems like it's going to be a little bit more dark. It starts out with someone who dies with a book in their hand, and like the book might have been the reason why they died.
5 hours later.
Page 179 of 308 of this book. Clover she's a clueless main character, almost to a fault. She has never been in a relationship. She doesn't really know what it's like to have someone interested in her. And then she meets this guy and he very clearly is interested in her, but she's not sure about him. I have a hard time believing that I want to say that she's like 35 or something, that she would not know, even though she watches a lot of movies, like that she would not know that she doesn't have to like try things just to try things, but also like that she wouldn't be able to perceive that someone has interest in her, whether she is okay with that or not, and being okay with like rebuffing them until she figures out if she likes them as a person. I didn't expect it to really have too much of a romance subplot to it. It's turning out to definitely lean into that more. So yeah, I'm like two-thirds of the way through this. I have so many other books that I'm excited to read this month, and I don't want to regret spending my time with this one. But we'll see. I'll keep you posted. I hate this topic coming up in books. I hate it. Claudia agreed to marry someone if he would let her travel and learn photography, go on a photography trip before they settled down, and she became a society wife. Yeah, I don't really care for that character either, and we're supposed to care about her. Even Clover cares about her because she's dying. That's kind of the point here. I'm gonna do something that I do when I'm having a really hard time with a book and I'm considering DNFing it, and that is commit an atrocity. Turning to the very back of the book and reading the last page. Because if the ending is going where I think it is, I just need to know that that's where this is going, and then I will be confident in my decision to either keep reading it or to not finish it. Clover, you need to stop looking out the window at the neighbors across the way and wishing you had their life. It's so creepy. That just happened again. Hello, It's the next day. I finished this last night right before falling asleep. It lived up to my expectation of it being similar to the Lonely Hearts Book Club, and I was disappointed in that. For a book that was talking about death and loss and regret, making things right, I think it was good. I just thought the romance was a little heavier than I thought it was going to be as a theme, and I didn't love Clover as a main character. I did kind of warm to her a little bit more toward the end of the book. If you've read this one, what were your thoughts? Did you like it? Did Sebastian make you want to jump out of a moving vehicle? What did you think about the generational Hugos? I'm doing my best not to have too many spoilers in this vlog, even though sometimes it's hard in a reading vlog not to give away the spoilers because you're sharing your opinions in the moment. There were some lines that I really liked and I tabbed those, and then there were things that were said that I did not like, and I also tabbed those. So if I were to flip right now and read you something, it's probably more likely to be something that I thought was strange rather than something that I appreciated. This was a letdown for me. But I am looking forward to picking up my next one. The Wishing Game, pretty much the same size as the Collected Regrets of Clover. Leaning toward The Wishing Game for today because I don't think I'm gonna have as much time to read today as I will tomorrow. So I could probably take this one down between today and Saturday, and I can probably read The Wishing Game faster. I'm thinking these other ones are a little bit more intriguing, and they're probably going to be faster paced, more plot driven than character driven. I think it took me like 3 days to read the Collected Regrets of Clover for that reason. I feel like it's still reasonable to say that I could read these two books in 2 days. And I don't know, let's find out. So I'm back. Zelda is being played. Went to a library book sale with my mother-in-law, which was a lot of fun in a very small amount of space. And I came away with 3 books, and they will probably show up in a book haul at some point. Gonna enjoy some reading time now. I'm starting in earnest The Wishing Game. This is difficult.
I know, I'm sorry.
Should I go in a different room?
No, it's okay. I'm sorry. I'll shut up and stop looking over. I just see sudden movement in my peripheral vision, and I'm like, what's she doing?
I'm talking to a cellular phone. That's all I'm doing.
Talking to the people on the internet.
Perfectly normal. So far, it's starting out really strong, and the first, 3 pages, the prologue, I am already hooked. We have 2 characters that are on a island. One of them is a children's book author who was famous and not written a book for years. The author's name is Jack. And then we have his assistant, Hugo. Hugo is really hoping for Jack to finally wake up from his complacency and write another children's book. He hasn't done it for years. And there's a line in here, Hugo said, "Please, for the love of God, Charles Dickens and Ray Bradbury, write something. Anything. Wasting a talent like yours is like burning a pile of money in front of a poorhouse. It's cruel and it stinks." I don't know if Hugo is supposed to be Jack's agent, his literary agent, or what, or why they ended up on the island. So there's already a lot of mystery in this story. At the end of the prologue, Jack is writing at his desk again. His writing factory. Hugo is excited about that. And that's the opening of the story. I feel like this is going to be a good one, and I like the writing style. I like the way the story is building up, and we'll see what happens. I'll keep you posted. We have relocated to a non-Zelda gaming area because that proved to be a little bit too distracting. I'm in my reading chair. This is good. I found out who Hugo is. Hugo was Jack's illustrator. We've got riddles, the phrase, the game is afoot has been said, and we are off on an adventure now. Starting chapter 3 now. Probably going to read until dinner time, and then I will read some more after that, and we'll see where we're at, but it's really good. I'm glad I picked this one this month. Way too many months of books that just did not live up to my expectations, and I think this is going to be good. Now we're on the island. There is a contest of riddles. There's a point system, so the person that has the most points, or two people that have the most points, win the rights to publishing the author Jack's final book in this children's series, and they could sell the rights to the publisher that he works with for a six-figure sum. So obviously that would solve all of Lucy's problems. There are these 3 other children, and each of the children is chosen because they admired and they kind of mirror the personality traits of 4 of the children in Jack's books. So that's an interesting element. And we have the first riddle. This has made no pretenses in the way that it's supposed to replicate Willy Wonka or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So in this case, I think Lucy Hart is our Charlie character, and obviously they're all vying for the same prize for different reasons, even though it seems like Lucy is in the other contestants. The other adults are lawyers and doctors, and they just seem like they're doing okay, honestly. But obviously Lucy is a teacher and she wants to be able to adopt Christopher, but she doesn't have money to get her own home, and her living situation with her roommates is not safe, and she wouldn't get approved for having a kid there. So yeah, so we're definitely rooting for her to win this contest on the island, and I think I've figured out what the first riddle means, so that's cool. Really enjoying my time with this. I think like part of the reason is I love a good treasure hunt story. Children coming, solving riddles, puzzles, they have challenges to complete, but also they have like some conditions that they're supposed to meet, and they could get like kicked out of the running for the grand prize if they, you know, fail to help one another, or like they do something that is against the unwritten rules. So I really like that an author finally decided to write a novel for adults that's based on that premise. That's really cool to me. I am on page 125, halfway. I'm feeling pretty confident about being able to complete reading this tonight, which is cool. I might even be able to start on my third book tonight. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling, if I want to start another one after I finish this one. I had a break for dinner. That was great. And Jeff, my husband, he also cleaned up after dinner so that I could keep reading, which is awesome. I'm enjoying this. This is a good weekend, getting to read in the evenings, and obviously the sun is setting. You guys have seen the light change. Update. I definitely guessed the first riddle, and I had that moment where, like, when you are ahead of the plot before the characters have gotten there and you're waiting for them to get it, and it's very simple. That was frustrating me for a hot second because it took them like 3 pages for one of them to get it, and thankfully it was Lucy, so yay Lucy. I am on chapter 16 now and page 147.
Find the secret formula. Your reward will be 10,000 of these. Think it over, will you? A new house for your family, and good food and comfort for the rest of their lives.
So we just had an encounter with someone who kind of did the whole like steal for me an everlasting gobstopper. Yeah, basically offered Lucy that if she wins the rights to the book, to sell it to him as like a, I think he's a lawyer. There's so many lawyers in this story. It's crazy. And if she does that, he will give her 8 figures. So she obviously was like, well, then kids won't get to read it, and she couldn't imagine not letting Christopher read this long-awaited book, because that's what he wished for. He wished for another book in the series. And yeah, so that was kind of weird. I didn't see that coming. I thought that it was another piece of the riddle, but maybe this was one of the challenges in the game. Quick wardrobe change, pajama time. And now I'm just going to pick a tea that is reminiscent of Mysterious Contest on an Island in Maine. That's the kind of tea that I'm looking for right now. Let's see what we've got.
You started saying "so I" without telling me that you were recording, so I immediately flipped over because I wanted to be attentive.
70 pages left of the wishing game, and I already made a reel and posted it on Instagram saying that I think that this is going to be 5 stars because it's really good. I'm really enjoying my time with it. And the author liked and commented on my reel because this is the cool times that we're living in. So yeah,
Neat.
That's cool. That's it for me for tonight, but I'm having fun. Bye!
A few minutes later.
another day, and 5 stars. I give The Wishing Game 5 stars. Highly recommend. It was a very enjoyable time. It hit all of my boxes for a treasure hunt. We have these 4 adults who used to be troubled children who ran away from home to this mysterious island of their favorite children's book author called Clock Island, and now they're adults and they have been invited back to the island to compete through solving a series of riddles, and the winner will get the prize of the writer's probably final book in the series. He hasn't published a book in like 10 to 15 years, I think. They solve the riddles, and you're very much rooting for the main character, Lucy, in this story. It's kind of like Mr. Lemoncello's Library meets Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It was well written, the dialogue was witty, there were some hints the author might be a Gilmore Girls fan, and that's just me reading into it, but I feel pretty confident in that, so yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fun. Moving on now, next book. So, little update on Ink Blood Sister Scribe. I could not get past like 17 pages of that one. It was getting really dark and like horror-esque, and I was ready for something to be thrillery, but I wasn't expecting horror, and I don't know. I feel confident in DNFing that one and not wasting my time with it, and maybe I'll put it in a little free library or something, but yeah. So that was a bit of a bummer. So I am currently at 2 books for this reading vlog, which I'm happy about. I mean, 2 books in 2 days isn't bad, and they were not small books, so it's not like I read for 24 hours or anything, but it still was a good part of my weekend. And how about you? What have you been reading lately, and what in your mind is cause for a DNF? Because I'm curious to know what the markers are of a book that you decide, I'm not wasting my time with this. Is it the length of it and how far you've gotten? Is it like certain traits in the story that you are just not in the mood for? What types of things make you DNF a book? It's good to DNF the things that you're not enjoying, and there's always more books out there to be read, so don't waste your time trudging through books that you aren't enjoying and are either too dark or too discouraging for you right now. That is okay. Support that. Anyways, I hope that you have a great week ahead of you, and I will see you in another video soon.